Good morning. It's Friday. All right. We're here. We're live. No Phil today, though. So we're just getting the news from our buddy George. Before we get to George, let me introduce you guys to the person who thinks that the L in most words is silent. Poseidon.
It was just almond.
You mean almonds?
All
right.
It was just one word, and you guys added it to the whole vocabulary.
Yeah, now there's memes about you online, so it's great.
I know, it's okay.
Mr. George Chadrizo from the Backstage Podcast, dialing in all the way from Brossard, another nation.
Is that where the field of almonds came up there? That thing, the post?
Yeah. People keep making fun of him because he can't say it properly.
Almonds.
Now that I know how to say it, I say it properly. Almonds.
Yeah, man, as long as you learn something every day.
So, George, you've had a week to prepare, basically. You thought that it was over last week with Trudeau and the We Charity stuff.
No, I did not think it was
over. Oh, you didn't think it was over?
I created a weekly daytime series with this thing, and I said, guys, tune in next week. And here we are, because this thing is just not going away.
Wow.
So, yeah, we're back again this week, with more news about the We scandal. I honestly, I don't even remember how long we've been addressing this issue. I think, is this like the third or fourth week straight?
This is the third week. Yeah. It's the third week because when it first happened, we were kind of confused about it. I mean, we understood that there was fuckery, but we didn't realize the extent of it. And then you said we have to look into it. And then the second week, last week, when it came back up, you were laughing about it. You were like, this is going to be a while. And every week, new stuff comes. Can I tell you my favorite moment this week? When Trudeau said, don't worry about it, I'm not scared of anything. Tomorrow, I'm going to come and answer all your questions. And then he didn't show up for work. He just didn't show up. I was like, holy shit, that's hilarious. He's like, tomorrow, don't worry about it. You think I'm scared? Why would I be scared? I'll see you guys at the office tomorrow. Yeah. And then he just fucked off.
They called in the parliament and he doesn't show up.
That's pretty funny.
It was funny. But he came the day after, though, and obviously zero answers on anything. It's just basic, generalized questions on the program and how they've been taking care of everyone during this pandemic, and the standard lines.
Yeah. So I wanted to put up a video. I don't know if I should do a video about that and just release it on YouTube, but it was just me angry. Can we stop saying stuff like that? Can Trudeau stop that? It makes me very angry every time he comes out, and he says this in Parliament a lot. Whenever he wants to deflect, he tries to pretend like he gave Canadians money out of his pocket. Can we all agree that the money that the government has is not out of any royalties pockets? It's all our money. It's all our tax dollars. It's from fucking painters, people who work at Subway, actors, whatever you want. It's everyone's tax dollars. So every time he talks about, like, I gave you guys money, as if it's from him, when we're paying his fucking salary, I lose my mind, George, whenever I hear stuff like that. Because people accept it.
We had discussed this. I don't know if it was that last week or the week before when the excuse, well, it's not an excuse, where they came out and said that, us as a government took on the debt so that you guys don't.
Yeah.
And that's, and I think we spoke about it. It
doesn't make any sense.
You didn't take on the debt. If you took on the debt, then fine. Please don't ever charge me any taxes again.
Yeah, we took on the debt as a people.
Yeah, it's never how it works. I mean, the money comes from our pockets, always, and it will going forward for many, many more years. Anyway, let's get on to the We scandal.
All right.
Series.
So,
now.
Quick recap for people who don't know: the We Charity was a charitable organization that was set up apparently to do something last minute, which to give youths volunteer positions during this summer around Canada. And what they're saying.
For those who missed the last episode, we spoke about how Trudeau and Morneau finally came out apologizing for not recusing themselves from the meetings that led to the attribution of over $900 million to the We Charity. We talked about the finance minister being investigated as well by the ethics commissioner.
Just a side note, John Brodigan paid $5 in the chat because he wants us to talk about glory holes. I don't know if you saw that Canada released. Poseidon, bring that up so that we could talk about it right after this.
Oh my God!
You heard about that, right? That Canada's saying if you guys want to have sex safely, use glory holes. So George, right back to you. I'm just getting Poseidon set up for the next story.
All right. So we also found out that the finance committee started a probe in this whole affair and started questioning parliamentarians and public servants, from whose testimonies we found out that the We Charity was very likely going to earn more than double the money for running the program. So the administrators were only going to be paid $19 million, but closer to 43. And we also found out that the charity was already circulating a draft proposal of this program way before the government ever even made an announcement. So that was that last week. This week, things got really, really ugly. So first, we find out that the government hadn't attributed the $900 million to the We Charity, but instead to the We Charity Foundation. All right. So this is a completely distinct charity. It's associated to the We Charity, but it's a completely different organization. It has absolutely no track record of any charitable work, and it was created in 2018, and it was only granted a charitable status in 2019. So this is like a fresh new organization, right? So from different records that were released, its stated purpose was to hold tens of millions worth of We Charity real estate. Okay, so the We Charity said that they decided to make the foundation the contracting party of the agreement, following the advice of their lawyers, very intelligent lawyers. So many experts now believe that the charity may have had concerns about legal liabilities stemming from the program that
That's why they set this up.
Mandated. So these same experts are even shocked that the government would even consider giving such a large contract to like a shell corporation with absolutely no assets, no history, and no record of any charitable work. So the example that they gave was, if, for example, the We Charity Foundation had been unable to complete the student program, the student volunteer program, the government would have absolutely zero recourse to recover the funds. Because, I mean, how can you go after an organization that has absolutely no assets, right? So that was the first eye-opening thing. Then also this week, we find out that the We Charity covered the flight and accommodation costs in 2007 for none other than Bill Morneau, the finance minister, and his family.
So the finance minister was greased, is what you're saying?
Exactly. Over $41,000 that they covered. So Morneau said that he wasn't aware. And that
wait, he wasn't aware of what? He wasn't aware of who's paying his bills. Do you know how much that bothers me when people say that? Like, so you bought a new car? Did I?
What?
I don't know about that.
Yeah, so he said that as soon as he found out, he made a check to cover all those expenses. And, of course, once again, he apologized. I mean, if
they keep
apologizing. I were in a plane, traveling to Africa or wherever in the world that he went, with my entire family, staying, in different hotels, being fed all sorts of food and, everything being covered.
I would ask questions.
I would probably know if whether or not I used my credit card to pay any of this stuff, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
that's what fucking bothers me.
How do you not know? All right. So, anyways, needless to say, the opposition now is calling for his resignation, some of which are bringing old stories back to life, like the one where Bev Oda was a former conservative minister who resigned because she hadn't paid for a $17 orange juice at some conference that she had attended.
So just to put this into perspective,
yes.
So she, during the conservative era, she decided, because I didn't pay for a $17 orange juice, it is unethical.
There was pressure from the opposition back then.
For $17
and all that stuff.
In orange juice.
$17, and she cracked under the pressure and she resigned.
This guy has $40,000 of fucking paid travel with his family. Like, this is super greasing. And he's like, what? Really? Huh. That's interesting. I didn't pay for that. Like, it's just absurd. Yes, she resigned, Poseidon, over a $17 orange juice that somebody got her, and she didn't have to pay for it. She resigned. She's like, oh, yeah, it's true. It's like a bribe. They gave me an orange juice. And this guy, $40,000, and now all this comes to light, that the organization was going to receive all this money from the government and all that shit, and he's trying to fight it. He's like, what's the big deal, man? Fucking 40 G's in travel? What? Your buddy never gets you a $40,000 family package vacation? That never happened to you guys? It's complete bullshit.
Yeah, but, go ahead, Poseidon.
I'd like to address the crime of somebody charging $17 for a goddamn fucking orange juice.
You know what? That should be addressed.
What the fuck?
That should be addressed.
But look, this week, honestly, just because of this, when this came out, I mean, all hell broke loose. I mean, I don't know how they're gonna manage to get away from this. There's a lot of pressure right now on Morneau's shoulders. It's very difficult to imagine a scenario where he doesn't resign. I mean, it's serious, and I don't think the opposition is gonna let this one go, honestly. This is going to be next week's story for sure. So for sure, we're going to have more developments on next week's episode. But we also got informed this week that Justin Trudeau accepted the invitation to appear at the
On the
Finance
podcast.
Committee's. Sorry?
On the podcast, he's coming.
On your podcast, he's coming?
Is he finally coming? I'm asking you. You're my liaison to these criminals. You're my
I don't
liaison to
think
the
so.
underworld.
I don't think so. I had other people, like I was telling you before we went live, I had other people close to him invite on my podcast. Suddenly, the communications are all lost. Nobody's calling back. Nobody's,
I sent an email to that guy, Polivo. What's his name? I keep
Polyev. Yeah, Polyev, yeah.
Polyev. I like that guy. I don't know where the emails go, though. I don't think he saw it because I didn't get a reply back.
I think you should call directly his office. Just call his office in Parliament.
Yeah.
There's obviously someone that's going to answer. And just say, hi, I'm so-and-so. I sent an email. I'd love to have him on my podcast.
Look. Listen, sweetheart. You know who this is, all right? Put the man in charge on the line, please. Just be an asshole.
Look, this guy's obviously very busy. He's the finance critic.
But dude, I really like this guy.
So he's like smack in the middle of all of this stuff.
Yeah.
He's the maestro. He's conducting this whole thing, right? So he had invited Justin Trudeau to appear in the Finance Committee's hearings. Justin Trudeau has accepted. So hopefully, maybe next week we're going to see that. And also the two brothers, the Kielburger brothers, the co-founders of the We Charity, also are going to be appearing at the hearings.
So the two brothers, the We
guys. If all this goes down next week, it's going to be one crazy week.
Oh, it's gonna be fun. Somebody wrote, yes, he wrote in the chat, and that's kind of true. Morneau was in Ecuador, so that's $41,000 in Ecuador. Like, that's a lot that you can do. Like, what did he?
I heard he was in Africa somewhere.
And even worse,
But
what did he
maybe
buy
it
a
could've been
country? You know what you could do with 41 G's in the third world, bro? That's crazy.
How do you spend $41,000 on a vacation? How does that even happen?
It was him, his family, flights per person, hotels.
For the record, Poseidon, he didn't spend that money.
Well, now he kept the check,
Yeah. Oh, he tried to pay them back now, right?
He did.
Yeah, but
that's how we found out, because he said himself that he had found out that he went on a trip that he didn't know was complimentary, and when he found out, he paid for it. And then everyone started looking into it. They're like, how do you miss $40,000? Like,
Yeah.
I mean, I understand you're a wealthy man. Probably you have a couple of assistants taking care of this stuff for you, but
so you guys are telling me you never misplaced 50 G's?
no.
It's so fucking funny. Like, the excuses, they should have like a lying coach. Get like a good lawyer next to him and tell him, look, this is what you're gonna say, because everything you're saying so far is ridiculous. Like Trudeau, the dumbest thing he did was the whole, I got nothing to hide. Tomorrow, meet me here, 3:00. We're doing this, and then he fucks off. That was great.
He's like the kid that starts a fight in school. He's like, yeah, meet me at the bus stop, bro, and then just never shows up.
Yeah. And then the best was when they were talking about it. They're like, he just never showed up. And then they didn't know what to do. There was no defense. They're like, what do you do? Like, we're not prepared for this. Like,
it's interesting because the day after, this happened on Monday, I think. So on Tuesday, he was in the house, right? So he was asked like a bunch of questions, and obviously the standard answers.
Yeah.
And then at some point, the Conservatives, what they started doing, because Chrystia Freeland, his vice prime minister, she came out.
The deputy prime minister?
Yeah, the deputy prime minister. Yeah, she came out and supported him. And during some questioning or whatever, they had asked his foreign minister about what he thought, and the answer he gave was as if he kind of wanted to distance himself from Trudeau and from this whole affair.
Hey, I'm a foreign guy.
So the Conservatives, what they started doing, were like, all right, so we have two teams right now. We have whoever's supporting Trudeau and whoever is with Mr. Whatever his name is, I forget his name right now.
Oh, that's funny.
So they're like, all right, and they started questioning like, there was one person getting up in the house and questioning, all right, so we know that there's two teams. Let's ask the Minister of Infrastructure. Which team are you in? Are you supporting Trudeau or are you with the Foreign Affairs Minister?
This is fucking amazing.
Yeah. So each one, they get two questions, right? So every time they would get up, they would ask two people. And then they would sit down. The next guy would get up and he would ask two other people, where are you? Which team? And for every single time, the same minister, it's the youth minister there involved, who's responsible for this program, that kept getting up and answering.
Yeah.
The exact same question, right? The
Yeah,
exact
yeah.
same answer. I mean, but
It's
it
a
was just so funny.
circus.
They just kept asking every single person sitting across the floor, which clan are you in? Are you with the foreign minister or are you with the prime minister?
Oh, this is fucking
Yeah,
gold.
yeah. It's a circus, man. It's
It,
crazy. Anyway, we'll see what happens this week. It's going to be interesting. Um, very quickly, two more short stories, and then we're going to get to that other interesting bit of there that I have no idea what the hell it is, and I'm not
Did you
sure what
not
this.
see? Did you not see the breaking news yesterday? All my American friends, all comedians, were messaging me like, "Let me ask you a question. What the fuck's wrong with you people?"
I'm interested to find out about that. So anyway, this week historic deal reached in Europe. Okay, so this week after 5 long days, a 5 day long summit of the European Council. Basically, the European Council consists of all the heads of states of the 27 member states. So it concluded to an agreement to raise billions of euros on capital markets on behalf of all 27 states. So this is an unprecedented act of solidarity in almost 70 years of the European integration. Usually we see deals happening for a specific country or for a specific cause, or maybe one or two countries. For the first time ever, they're borrowing funds in the name of all 27 countries together collectively. So the deal basically consists of 750 billion euros. So it's approximately $860 billion. It's a
That's
recovery
crazy.
fund to help with the continent's biggest ever recession since World War II, following the economic disaster that was caused by the coronavirus. So to put that into perspective for anyone wondering, how big that amount is, the EU's entire annual budget for 2020 is 173 billion euros, so about 200 billion dollars, and this recovery plan is 860 billion dollars.
That's crazy.
So most of that money it will be allocated in a variety of grants and loans.
Where are they getting that money from?
Basically, they're gonna use the AAA credit rate that they have, and they're gonna borrow the money on behalf of all the member states.
They're gonna borrow it from where?
Creditors, wherever countries borrow money.
China.
Maybe the Swiss. Can they get it from the Swiss?
Look, essentially, I'm sure it's Germany has a huge role to play in this, obviously, which is why they also took the least amount of that package. But it's huge. It's a huge deal. Of course, with a deal as big as this one, it didn't come without the predictable infighting. I mean, it's not always peaceful. They're not all friends, right? So thankfully, though, compromises were made in order to reach an agreement. So in order to agree to handing out the recovery grants, because like I said, there's a portion that is delivered through grants and a portion that is delivered through loans. So the handing out of grants, of which Germany, France, Italy, and Spain will get much less of. The frugal states, they're called the frugal states. Basically, these are the richer northern countries like Austria, Denmark, the Netherlands, and
They
Sweden.
call them the cheap states.
Yeah, well, it's like an inner circle kind of thing. They're like, oh fuck those weirdos up in the north. Basically,
Those
they're
fucking
going to receive.
tightsters.
They didn't want
More like cheapskates.
Yeah,
Yeah.
they did not want basically for countries to receive grants. They were okay with the whole idea of having loans, but they're like, we should not give in grant. Why should we just throw away the money like
They
that?
are correct.
Right?
There are no grants in capitalism, sir.
Yeah, exactly. So basically, to satisfy them, the bigger country said, listen, we're not going to take any, or we're going to take very little, and in return, what we're going to offer you. So those countries, they're going to get large discounts on their contributions to the future EU budgets. All right. And that's huge. Like, I mean, Austria, for example, is doubling the credit. So like they're gonna save over €500,000 in the contributions. Countries like I think Netherlands is getting like a $2 billion discount. So they got that kind of a deal which they accepted. So no surprise, the rest of the money, Italy and Spain will benefit the most, since they were the countries that were affected the most by COVID-19. I think Greece is getting a little over 70 billion.
Jesus.
Yeah, so it's huge amounts of money. This is going to stimulate obviously each country's economy.
But it's just
Hopefully
because
it'll
of
be
the
done
loan,
responsibly.
the loan situation versus the grant. Couldn't they? I don't know if this is correct, but couldn't they go into the well? Like the reason why I was bringing up the Swiss is, unless I'm mistaken, have the Swiss ever given back any of the gold that they stole from European Jews during the Second World War when they pretended they had nothing to do with it, but they were just stealing money? Or are we not ready to have this conversation?
Is that a fact? Yeah.
That is a fact, yeah. And so did the Germans. The Germans also stole gold from the countries that they were taking over, including Greece. So are we not ready to have the conversation of give us back our things, or is it like, oh no, it's offensive to them if you bring up the fact that they robbed everyone? Is that is it too soon to go against the aggressor and tell them to fuck off? Is it too soon for that?
I can't remember off the top of my head right now if Swiss is even a member of the EU. I think
they might not be. They don't need to be. They took everyone's money during the Second World War. They're fine.
Yeah, we're neutral. If you need any safe havens,
yeah, exactly. We're neutral. What is that? Stolen money? Yeah, bring it in, bro. Bring it in. Yeah, I don't like that. So and I don't like that people refuse. It's like, oh shit, you can't talk about that. That is the goddamn truth. All right, I'm gonna fucking talk about the truth.
Yeah, nobody goes back. I mean, even Greece. I think in the recent years where they were going through that huge crisis, I think the previous government's plan was to force Germany to pay back the billions of dollars that they owe them, because when Germany occupied Greece, they started taking out loans on Greece's behalf, right? And that money was left afterwards for Greece to pay back. So it's similar to what you're saying. So I think that was the former government's plan on saving Greece's economy, was to get back billions of dollars that apparently Germany owed them.
Well, it's not apparently they do. The issue is that Greece is a small country, so Germany doesn't care. They're like, yeah, what are you gonna do if we don't give you back your money? Like, what do you? It's like a.
Not so much that, but more the fact that. All right, fine. How much? Okay, X whatever $billion.
Yeah.
How much have we given you already? In packages and in investment funds and in loans in Greece.
Yeah, but those are two different things. Give me back what you stole. Those are because we would have never needed to do that if you hadn't decimated our country.
The Second World War, Greece has probably gotten way much more, right? It's just that it's disappeared in thin air. Yeah. Where's that money? Where has it gone over these years, right? So anyway, huge deal in Europe. We'll see exactly how things evolve. And it's interesting. It's interesting because, like we've been saying in previous episodes, Greece. Well, I'm talking specifically about Greece because it concerns us directly. New government, very responsible, very oriented towards economic development.
Well, what's happening with the Turks right now? I heard that our military is in high alert. I heard us in Cyprus sent some ships.
Yeah, I read. Well, because what happened this week? Apparently, Turkey sent off maybe about a dozen ships to send some
17.
17, yeah, to do some underwater. I'm not sure exactly to look at the. I'm not sure what the term is. Basically, to
they're
test
scouting.
Yeah, and I was in Greek and Cypriot waters. Greece went on high alert. They mobilized their navy, their air force. But apparently, Angela Merkel from Germany spoke to Erdogan, and nothing happened. I mean, I read a bunch of articles saying that she may have stopped a serious conflict that was certainly going to happen in the Eastern Mediterranean.
Well, would he have to fight? Here's my question, because I don't trust the European Union. If he would try again to take over Greek lands, water, whatever he wants to do, would he actually be fighting the entire European Union as it should be, or even NATO, if you would go by the actual rules, or would it be us against them?
See, look, the thing about NATO is very tricky because they're both member states of NATO.
Yeah, but
so
if they're
everyone
the
is kind of turning a blind eye. They always have, right?
Yeah.
Europe, though, is a different story. There's talks right now about sanctions that are going to be imposed on Turkey. Don't forget one thing. I read an interesting article that came out this week. I can't remember where, and I'd love to quote it, but I don't remember where it was from. If it weren't for the billions of dollars that Turkey receives from the European Union and from Qatar, apparently, that are funding Turkey, Turkey's economy is in shambles
decimated.
Right now. It's like almost non-existent, and the guy has opened fronts pretty much everywhere. Like it's almost, experts are kind of baffled with this whole situation because they just don't understand why all this is happening. I mean, he's opened a front in Syria where he's against Russia. He's militarizing Libya, and that has put him against Saudi Arabia. He's put him against Egypt. Obviously, Greece, because he's trying to create that corridor through the Greece's economic zone.
He's trying to
Obviously,
rebuild the Ottoman Empire, is what he said.
I'm
But
not
the
sure
man
exactly
can't
what the
even
hell he's
erect a
doing,
table.
but he's opening up fronts against everyone. I mean, just in the beginning of this year, he put Europe against them when he tried to invade it
Yeah.
through Greece. Obviously, Greece and Cyprus are always on kind of high alert when it comes to Turkey. So nobody really understands all these moves. You know, he converted we mentioned this in the previous episode. He converted Hagia Sophia into a mosque. That goes
That was a
into effect.
personal affront against me, by the way. And
And you know what? Since we're on that, it's actually taking effect today. Today's the first day where it opened, and people are
I
actually
saw him. He's there. He's wearing his little hat, and he was reading from the Quran.
So I don't know. I honestly don't understand why other countries and partners aren't looking more seriously into this issue, because it's a very fragile region, and he's just pushing buttons. And
I'll tell you why.
these things.
Because most of
Sorry?
these people are phonies. That's why.
You know, and even the U.S. I mean, even and let's just give him credit, because a lot of U.S. politicians came out against that move with Hagia Sophia. We still haven't heard anything from any Canadian politicians, by the way, and I've been following this, despite the fact that we have several Greek parliamentarians sitting in Ottawa.
Yeah.
The State Department came out after it sent out ships, and they said, "Oh, we're following the situation in the disputed territory. It's not disputed,
It's
dude.
not
The
disputed. It's our
So
territory.
just
Well, it is disputed because we want it. That's not how it works. That's not disputed.
Just to go back to saying that, when it comes to these things, everyone is being very, like extra careful. Let's measure our words. We don't want to create any conflicts. We don't. So that I find a little, shitty. But look, man, props to Germany, man. They stepped up. They called the guy. They're like, look, you don't fucking move your ships, And now, from what I'm reading, they're looking into sanctions. So we'll see. We'll see how that evolves.
But they can actually sanction Turkey into oblivion if they wanted to, right?
Of course.
Yeah.
Of course. But look, again, half of Turkey's industry is in. Half of Germany's industry is in Turkey.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like, come on, like, it doesn't take a genius to figure out exactly why everyone is taking this thing so lightly, right?
Yeah. Well, the Germans have always been on the sides of Turkey for years. For years, my friend. That's the problem. That's why I'm saying it's a rigged game.
Yeah.
They're telling you these are the pieces, these are the rules, and then they keep changing the rules as we're playing.
Let's go on to another little short story. Not that I want to, but just because.
Oh, what's happening?
I was left, honestly, with my mouth open. I was just in shock.
So we spoke about glory holes, but okay.
Right after, Poseidon. Don't worry.
Yeah, glory holes are coming. I know you're impatient, Poseidon.
Go on.
Yeah, Kanye West. Guys, I'm sorry. I know I promised never to talk about this guy again, but really, after what happened this week, man, it was just so hard not to. I'm scrolling through my Twitter feed early this week, and I see that Kanye gave his first political rally as a candidate. So I'm like, oh, okay, interesting. Let me search to see the video. Let me read what he spoke about. And so I'm searching the internet to find it, and just from the thumbnail picture that they had put up on the internet about this whole thing,
when he was crying,
I immediately thought, God, what the hell is happening in this country? How is this even possible? How is this not all just some dumb movie right now? All right?
He's having a breakdown. He's having a moment.
Yeah, but you know what the thing is, man? Look, just get with the story, and we'll comment on this later, I guess. I mean, this happened in South Carolina, and it looked like he was in some underground bunker. Horrible lighting, badly organized. No microphones. He's surrounded by security guards, and he's wearing a bulletproof vest. Like,
it says police on it.
He was saying security or something.
Security,
Security.
Like, and in addition to all of this, and I must say, I didn't read the whole thing. I didn't hear the whole thing. I just, read certain excerpts and I heard certain passages. He goes off on this unscripted speech on just about anything, right? Apparently,
freestyle, baby.
Apparently he spoke about his drug use, his business dealings with Adidas and Gap, and because of everything happening with Black Lives Matter, if they don't put him on their board of directors, he threatened to drop his collaboration. Then he went off into this absolutely weird moment about his beliefs on abortion.
Yeah.
At first he said that he was against it. Then he said that anyone practicing abortion should have the right to do so. And I'm still kind of not sure about what he meant about practicing.
yeah,
I mean, who practices abortion as if it's like some sport, right?
Well, you need practice, bro, or else you're gonna go willy nilly screw up the abortion. You need practice. But
the people practicing abortion should have the right to do it. Like, what are you talking about?
I think he meant the people getting an abortion, like you should be allowed to get it, and then he said, I believe you should be allowed to get it, but I'm against it because, and then he gave the example of how he almost aborted his kid, and that actually, I felt bad for him when he was crying, when he was screaming, like I almost killed my daughter. I was like, Jesus Christ, this shouldn't be on TV. This isn't a public thing right now.
Okay.
Dude, I was speechless. You know, he went off on his dad for wanting to have him aborted, and then, like you said, initially they were thinking of having his daughter aborted. Then he started crying, yelling that he almost killed her.
Yeah. And then his dad wanted to abort him.
And then finally he said that every family that has a child should get $1 million.
Yeah, that was the dumbest thing.
Come on, man.
But you know how if that were to happen, you know how many people would be having babies?
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing.
Bro, I'd have like 20.
He doesn't think that far ahead, Poseidon. He doesn't think about the fact that then money would be meaningless. He's just look. He's just. I actually, and I love making fun of him, but I actually kind of feel bad for him because he's clearly suffering some kind of an episode. And then you look at it like, wouldn't you go crazy? Like, if I was in that family with Kim, I'd go fucking crazy. Because in the beginning, he kept getting made fun of online because people were sharing GIFs and clips of his wife's sex tape. Okay? Which obviously will piss you off. That'll fuck with you, right? Then you're there, you're living. Your father.
You get involved with her, you know that there's a sex tape.
You know that, but then once it gets public, once you publicly announce that you're together, people start fucking with you, right? Yeah. And then, so that happens. Then his father-in-law cuts his dick off, turns into his second mother-in-law. His sister-in-law keeps changing her entire face through plastic surgery. Doesn't know who the fuck. Like, it's just everything around him is insane. Okay, there's cameras there all the time. You start, and he was already fucked up. You start losing your sense of reality, you know. And then now, you see, he has little breaks of emotion. Like he keeps thinking, like I'm doing this, I'm this. Oh shit, I almost killed my daughter because I was listening to these people. Then this and this and this and this. Oh fuck, they told me I can't do this, but it's just fucking crazy, you know. He's just breaking down. So I see that and I feel bad for him.
Yeah, look, I mean, this is obviously like if you look at it just from a political, context, I have never in my life seen anything like this, right? And you
haven't seen Joe Biden speak.
Well, yeah, but I mean,
Joe Biden the last year speaking is worse than this because at least Kanye is putting together sentences. They might be crazy, but they're real. They're not just they're real sentences.
Look, it was awful. Like absolutely no substance at all.
Yeah.
No electoral plan, no commitments. No ideas about anything going forward.
His party's called the birthday party.
Campaign. Sorry?
His party, he's calling it the birthday party.
I told you about that because when he wins, it'll be like everyone's birthday. Come on, man.
This is amazing.
Like I just couldn't believe what I was watching and what I was reading. And the craziest thing in this story is, like you said, Kim Kardashian comes out the next day or 2 days later to apologize and to ask for everyone's compassion and empathy because Kanye is, he's fighting bipolar disorder and, he urgently needs to receive treatment. And, look, this is very delicate. And like you said,
and then Kanye tweets, "Bitch is trying to lock me up."
Look, I think everybody is sensitive to the message that she was giving out, about the seriousness in battling bipolar disorder, and I think we should all be sensitive about that. But but on a serious note, I mean, I don't care one bit about Kanye's personal health or family problems. Like I'm interested in the U.S. election, as many people are, and if your husband isn't fit to live his life on a regular basis, then maybe he should not be running for president. I mean, I don't understand what's going on here. Honestly, guys, this whole situation has got me so confused. I don't know if this is still real or if it's just some sort of publicity stunt. I don't know, honestly. Like, I follow this thing and I'm like, what the hell is going on in the U.S., honestly?
But it's not just the U.S. Like, look at us. I mean, look, the U.S. this is a global problem because I think we never realized with social media, and we never realized the downside of what celebrity could do to someone's psyche if they're not ready for it, right? Like being a big time celebrity, if you don't have the mental fortitude to handle that shit, is fucking insane. Like the level of fame that you can get to right now, being a musician, and if you're not ready, like I remember the first time I was at a red carpet and I saw actual celebrities, like the way they get treated, stopped, yelled at, it is overwhelming. Like you have nothing to, you know what I mean? It's just, so if you're not like mentally prepared and you can handle that shit and keep walking all that, you lose your fucking mind. That's why I understand when I see celebrities punching paparazzi in the fucking face. Like
Yeah.
I've seen some crazy shit. Like I keep telling people about the Kristen Stewart, the chick from Twilight, when the people were yelling at her to take photos when she was standing on the red carpet to take photos, and then the guy's like, "Don't be a cunt! Look over here! Look!" The guy's yelling at her that she's a cunt because she's not looking that way. And I'm like, how does she not go grab the camera and shove it up his fucking ass? Like, it's crazy shit. And this is in a place where it's supposed to be safe, right? Where it's all photographers and them on the red carpet. And outside, it's even crazier. Like, just getting stopped all the time and all that. Like real celebrities, it's a crazy thing, bro. Everyone's always on to you. Whatever you say is huge for them. Like, what do you think about the bread in this restaurant? I don't know. It's a little burnt too much. Kanye thinks the bread is burnt too much. They got it. It's just crazy shit. How do you live with that? Then you think that your opinion matters more than someone else's because whatever the fuck you talk about seems so goddamn important. I'm just saying we never reflect on looking at how celebrity culture affects people mentally, and it affects the general public mentally too. Because look at both countries. The host of The Apprentice is president. The drama teacher and a son of one of our most famous prime ministers. No, it's true. Again, a celebrity basically is prime minister.
Yeah.
We did the same thing, just that people are trying to blame, like, Americans are stupid. We did the same fucking thing. We voted based on celebrity also. So why are we different? Because our celebrity was younger? We did the exact same fucking thing.
It was much
By
more
the way,
presentable. Yeah.
people are saying that what Kanye pulled, it was all a stunt to promote his music, his new album. Because after that stunt, he just tweets out, "I'm gonna focus on the music now."
Yeah, but that's not. He tweeted that out because people kept telling him, "Your shit didn't go well. It was disorganized." So he's like, "This wasn't just me, Poseidon. There are better ways to promote his music, and he has all these resources. He could have literally done a statement with Elon Musk, being like, "Yo, this guy's dropping a new album. It's gonna be available in all Teslas." Don't get it twisted, bro. He's having a manic episode.
Is he still in the race or not? Like, see, this is what I'm telling you guys. I'm so confused with his story. I don't know what's real and what isn't.
Well, it's
honestly.
a little late in a lot of states for him to add his name to the ballot. If he wants, he could add his name to some other stuff, and he would basically fuck over Biden, which would be fucking hilarious. Because if people,
I don't think it makes that much of a difference. I mean, he's only in one state right now, right?
yeah, I'm saying it depends which states he could make a difference. Like traditionally blue state, but it doesn't matter. I mean, dude, I don't like any of these fucking people. Like, I'm looking at this now, and everyone's bothering me. Trump,
I honestly don't
Biden,
think he's going to continue.
I
honestly don't think he's going to continue. He's going to look. It's a sad situation because, like you said, he is probably so pressured right now. I mean, the Kardashian machine is huge, right?
Yeah.
Like, I can only imagine how many PR professionals were actually called after that press conference. You know, like what's her name? The mom there, Kris Jenner, whatever her name is. She was probably on the phone all day. Oh my God, we need PR guys right away.
These guys have it's an empire that they built off gossip. So if they're getting fucked over like this, they get scared. They don't want to be, especially because the shit he was tweeting, that the mother, Kris Jenner, and they're treating him like the movie Get Out. They're trying to fuck with his head and get doctors to give him pills. Dude, these are some crazy ass allegations that are coming. Like, I tweeted, I'd be very surprised if he doesn't get divorced. And I don't mean just because they don't want him. I mean, even him, like, he must feel weird right now around them. You know? Like, I'd be very surprised if they don't get a divorce. It's a shit show. It's a public shit show, like Aziz says. It's just out in the public. And I feel bad because a lot of this shit doesn't belong. Just like Will Smith, a lot of that shit that happened with his wife. Personally, man, I don't like the celebrity culture going in their lives. I don't think that shit should be public. It's got nothing to do with us. It's not about a movie. It's not about a song. I don't care. It's not about me.
The difference here is that he made that step to become a public person now, right? I mean, the minute you step into that scene where I'm running for office, you become a public figure, and everything around you is out in the open, right?
Yeah.
I mean, they're gonna dig in. That's what happens, right? And if you're a celebrity, already stuff has been out in the open anyway to begin with. So,
well, you saw Cortez AOC.
Yeah.
So I had to unfollow a friend that I've had her for a while on Facebook just because, like, okay, she's a dummy because she posted this whole thing. Like, she posted more substance than what the Cortez video. It's like, Cortez, no, this is what we need. Like, this whole thing. I was like, oh shit, maybe Cortez said something smart. You know what I mean? So I click on the video.
Her statement.
Yeah. I click on the video. Literally, the whole video was, this guy called me a fucking bitch on the stat. I was like, why is fucking bitch on the public record now, you dummy? And also, this kind of shit happens all the time. You guys don't like each other, you talk shit behind the scenes, but you're professionals when you get on there. I don't want to hear about the guy who called you a fucking bitch. Handle it yourself. It's not it's not a matter. It's not a matter of the public discourse right now, especially when the country's on fucking fire. Okay, and she also months ago was calling everyone else a fucking racist, a bigot, a dummy. She was calling people all the names in the book, right? But when somebody calls her a fucking bitch, now it's the end of the goddamn world, and we forget about what we were doing for months. Get the fuck out of here, man.
Look, obviously, it's her version. There's only one side of the story, but at the same time, look,
No, I'm not saying the guy was right. I don't think that.
I'm not a big fan of hers.
I don't think that a politician should call another politician a fucking bitch in front of people. I don't even think behind closed doors. Like, I think there's better ways to handle it if you're a politician. I mean, I think the guy's a dummy for doing that. But she, as we know, is not the smartest fucking person. And she brought up, like, she should have been like, yeah, whatever. You guys must have heard this guy was calling, whatever. He's a dummy. And then just steamroll him, continue. Not sit there and you were elected, all right, to take care of the people of New York. You weren't elected to complain every time someone calls you a fucking name. It's crazy to me.
Man, look. I don't think I disagree with her. You know, I mean, at some point you're gonna have to denounce these behaviors because look, I've been around Parliament, and I don't know if things are different over there than they are over here. I can tell you, man, that people are very respectful. I mean, they might hit each other in the house, and you know that question period, they might yell at each other. But honestly, as soon as question period is over, everyone is just so friendly with each other. They hang out, they collaborate on other in different committees.
Yeah.
You don't see this sort of thing. In the 11 years that I spent, I never once heard anything like this. Someone kind of bad mouthing someone else. In the House, though, it's different. And in question period, it has happened, right? But in the House, it's an open public space. You have the Speaker of the House who's in control.
Yeah.
He usually puts people back in their place, and it's done.
It's a different system that they have. But also, dude, when you've been calling people names for a year, okay, and you don't think it's gonna trickle down back to you, that to me is crazy. Like, just that you think that you're that special that you can call everyone whatever the fuck you want. The second someone disagrees with you, you're like, he just hates women. He's a racist. You're just uncomfortable because I was a waitress. Just random shit. You don't think someone's gonna go off at one point and be like, listen, bitch, like, you gotta fuck off at some point. Just your politics are stupid. That's the problem here. All right, you don't think that someone's gonna snap. You can't keep poking the bear, and then when the bear attacks, then you're like, oh, look at this fucking bitch ass bear. You can't do that. And she is one of the people that's doing that, and she's not the only one. A lot of people in the media, a lot of people on TV do that. A lot of these fake fucking journalists do that. They keep poking on, like, let's say a comedian. Then when the comedian fires back and their fans attack them, then they're like, look, I'm a victim of an attack online. No, I like to look at the big fucking picture. And she's been a dummy for a while. Obviously, I still remember the new fucking Green Deal when she wanted people who don't want to work to get paid. Like, just dumb shit that people are against. So then you can't expect there's going to be no recourse from someone else. Like, you're the victim because they only see one side of the story. So I didn't like that. Anyway, so when I saw a paragraph was written about how we need this, and I was like, oh shit, she probably had like a good speech. This is, she probably brought up some good ideas. This might be her time to kind of step out of that whole dummy shadow. So I watch it, and it was literally just, this guy called me a fucking bitch. And I was like, God damn it. You could have steamrolled the guy. You could have been like, look at this fucking idiot, right? And then continue, bring in something strong and be like, look, Jesus Christ, look at her. She brushed it off and moved politics forward. Instead, she was there complaining like it's high school. Like, you're in charge. Millions of people are depending on you. Millions of people. And you're talking about how someone fucking called you a fucking bitch. Like, at some point you have to grow up.
Yeah. Look, again, I don't disagree with her addressing it. I mean, I don't know the backstory, and I don't really follow her. I think from the first month that she got elected, I kind of tuned off because I just don't agree with a lot of the things that she says. So I don't know all these other things, all these other contexts where, she was calling people names and all that stuff. But at the same time, I mean, it doesn't justify someone calling her that, right?
Not at all. I told you, I think that the guy's a fucking idiot, a complete dummy. I'm not even saying because he said it in front of people, in front of the steps. Even in private, if it was just him and her, like, you're supposed to be, because you were elected officials, right? We're supposed to believe that you have some kind of semblance of like logic and etiquette, professionalism, right? Mm-hmm. So if she said something you disagree with, even if she's called you a racist or if she called you anything, stop and be like, hey, listen, man, what are you saying? Let's move forward. Like, what do we need to do together to help the country? So I think this guy's this guy is a fucking idiot just for acting like that. He's not professional. He's complete stupid. But it doesn't mean that I forgive and I forget about all the shit she's been talking, all the dumb things she does, just because she's louder on the microphone right now. I don't play that shit. When you're wrong, you're wrong.
And you unfollowed this friend just because of that?
No, I didn't unfriend her. I just unfollowed because I don't want to see like updates. Because like, okay, if you're gonna give me propaganda, basically whatever this person that now I'm locked in to support says, that's what bothers me about like MAGA culture. That's what bothers me about Joe Biden's fucking followers. It's whatever he says is gold. No, they're human beings. They say a lot of stupid shit that you don't have to agree with. Don't jump in with both feet. I don't believe in that. I don't believe in the party, whatever the party thinks. I'm not a communist, all right? I am a free-thinking person. If Cortez says something smart and good, I'll take the smart and the good. If she says something stupid, I'll fucking make fun of her for saying something stupid. I can't go all in or all out. I don't like that shit.
But also going back to what you said about him calling her a bitch, what if he, in trying to speak to her, what if he did try that? And then it finally led to him calling her a bitch. What if it did start with him trying to speak things out with her?
It doesn't matter. He's still wrong because it's still stupid to do that, right? Her reaction to what he did, obviously I didn't like, but I didn't like his is stupid too, bro. You grab someone on the steps, you're a politician, and you're like, you fucking bitch or you dummy. That's insane. Who talks like that? Yeah. Crackheads maybe. Like that's a little crazy. Anyways.
Poseidon, are you okay there?
Yeah, something's wrong with my headphones.
There's no snare in his headphones.
Everything's like vibrating.
Yeah, Poseidon, Aziz is asking, what is your opinion on the matter? Because I'm just yelling about all of them being stupid. What is your opinion?
That he called her a bitch?
In general, like, yeah, that he called her a bitch and then her reaction.
But it feels like high school.
Yeah, that's what it felt like to me too.
It feels like you're watching a high school show. A show about high school. Yeah. It's basically as if they were in high school and they never grew up. They stayed.
And I feel like she had the perfect opportunity to really just step on him. It should have been like a 10-second thing. Like she brings something amazing to the table. You know what I mean? And she starts it off with, I know you guys heard about this guy. You know what he said, and just brush him off like he's nothing. And then continue to be like, Jesus Christ, look, while this guy's calling people fucking bitch, she's putting shit on the table. She's working. You know what I mean? Like she made him look useless. That would have been the best thing. Not.
But then do you think that would have gotten the attention that this statement got though?
Just because she said the words "fucking bitch." Well, look, if that's what it takes right now is just to swear and then that makes a statement, then the problem is with the media, and again, then that means that Trump was right that the mainstream media is the enemy of the people. Because I think that if you bring something good to the table and you crush someone without swearing, without that is a victory.
Well, look, in her defense, she was just quoting him, right? She didn't say it just to say it. She said, "Look, this is what she said," and I quote, "He called me."
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, she had to quote that. That's on the public record now.
Yeah,
and I quote. Anyways,
all right, man. Let's get to that glory hole.
Yeah, Poseidon, bring the glory holes.
Patient Jesus Christ, what am I getting into?
So, the use of glory holes for safe sex, Canadian CDC approved. So basically, the British Columbia Center for Disease Control recommended that in order to have safe sex.
Poseidon, what is a glory hole?
It's a hole in the wall that a man puts his dick through, and on the other side, a woman sucks his dick and fucks it.
All right, so medical terms you're using. Nice. Okay, good. Keep going.
Yes. Well, I don't know no medical terms for glory holes.
But you do know, like you could have said penis. You could have said intercourse.
That's true.
Imagine he's your doctor. He walks in. Look, your dick's broken, bro. Like. Anyways, go on.
Anyways, so on the CDC recommendation, so it goes before and after sex. Wash your body with soap, your hands. Wash sex toys thoroughly. Wear a face covering or mat. To wear a face mask during sex. Well, what is this? Avoid or limit kissing and saliva exchange. Choose sexual positions that limit face-to-face contact. And then it goes, use barriers like walls. Example, glory holes that allow for sexual contact but prevent close to face-to-face contact. Yes, now, if they had said, here's the issue with this. If they had said just maybe use barriers and they added cut a hole through the barrier or something, but the fact that they use the term glory hole is what makes this ridiculous, I think.
So your issue is not with the fact that they're telling people, drill a hole in your wall and have sex. Your issue is the fact that they're calling it a glory hole. What would you like them to call it?
No. I think that's why
the Corona crevice. What would you like them to call it?
No, because people started making fun of them, And then since then, they got angry and they were like, "No, we're serious. It's a matter of safety."
It is a bit strange, though, right? It is a bit strange that they had to go to those lengths of describing how you should have safe sex, right? I don't know. Like at first, when you said it, I thought it was probably something related to the sex industry and how, obviously it suffered like every other industry, and maybe they're taking measures on reviving it but putting limits and explaining, certain conditions. But the way from what you read, it's just telling every single person on how to be careful while while having sex, right? I mean, just don't nothing face to face, please. Keep your distance. Use a glory hole. It's ridiculous that a government came out with that kind of announcement. I don't know. I don't understand.
And it's like, how do you guys know? We tested it thoroughly in the office. It was just for research. We drilled holes everywhere and started banging each other. That's why I was always late.
And this is in British Columbia?
Yeah, BC.
Doesn't surprise me.
Something must be in the air.
The Center for Disease Control. I think crack is in the air.
In BC, yeah, you're not off. You're not wrong, Poseidon. So,
have you guys been to BC? I've never been.
No, I refuse.
Yeah, same here. No. After what I've seen and heard,
I don't want to go.
I'm never going to that place.
There's certain countries I don't go to, and that's one of them.
A country? Yeah. BC?
Canada ends in Alberta, bro.
But I heard it's nice. I'd like to go.
No, I hear I have friends that live there, and I hear that it's actually weather-wise, I think it's our best spot in Canada. But also I hear there's a lot of nice stuff in BC. I just like busting balls, especially my friends watching. I like to piss them off. But no, I hear good things about it. Like the crackheads is one thing. Like downtown is a shithole. But you avoid those spots, and BC apparently is really nice. Like if you avoid downtown Vancouver, BC is really nice. They're what's it called? The housing though is very expensive.
Yeah, but that's where it all began, right? The overpriced market, and then transitioned to Toronto, and then it came to Montreal.
Yeah, it started with them, and I think it's skyrocketed since. God damn it.
I lost you guys there for a second because I'm having technical difficulties here.
Yeah.
What did you guys say? Who came to Montreal? Or what came to Montreal?
Your parents. On a boat.
We're talking about how the housing industry blew up.
Speaking of blowing up, there was a bomb threat, Lackady Metro this morning.
No way.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, I think overnight. Yeah, because I drove by there before we did the show, and it was open again. Like, they didn't block anything. But last night, Homer was biking in the middle of the night because, when else are you going to bike? And he was coming through the new university campus area, and they stopped him, the cops, and said, you have to go all the way around. And he's like, what the fuck are you talking about? I live up the street. And like, no, there's a bomb threat. And he's like, God damn it.
Is that what? But doesn't the metro close? Like at some point, like 11 or 11:30?
Yeah, it was past that. I think it was past midnight. I'm gonna see. It was between midnight and 2 a.m. that I got that message. I think because I only saw it in the morning.
A bomb threat if the metro's closed.
Well, it could be in the like it doesn't have to be on the train, right? He said the metro, like Lackady Metro, had a bomb threat. So the guy's like, it's somewhere in that station. So they just cordoned off a few blocks. I mean, this used to happen. I remember when I used to work downtown quite often that people call them bomb threats to places.
Yeah.
But there's never been a bomb. But they always threat. Like, I don't know why you would do that. Like, maybe you're testing the system to see what they would do. Like, I don't know what the point is.
You just don't want to call in sick. You've already done it too many times. You're like, look, there was a bomb threat in the metro. I couldn't get to work.
Yeah, that's but at 2 a.m.
That's what it is.
But if you're doing it late, that's what I'm thinking of. Since they did it late, there must have been another motive. You know what I mean? Like, it wasn't because he was going to be late to work. The guy, he's like, I don't want to wake up in the morning. I'll just say there was a bomb.
Yeah. I was there last night. I went to see my parents last night, but I wasn't there like past 11. So
yeah, it was late when I got the message. Actually, I'll tell you when I got the message. Because in the morning when I drove, did it let me go there? Actually, I didn't go all the way on Lackady, but I was like 2 blocks away and I didn't see anything. So to me, I'm thinking that it's over. I mean, how long do they keep it? How long do they keep it open? Like the bomb threat. It was like, so I see the pictures of the tapes and says I was biking back at 2 a.m. and cut through the university. The whole block was barricaded at 2 a.m.
Yeah. The metro's closed. I don't think it was in the metro. It's probably in the
vicinity. Yeah. So he said metro, but yeah, maybe the cops like there's a bomb here.
Somewhere, yeah.
And there was no bomb. Or maybe they found the bomb and maybe all kinds of shit happens and we don't know about it. Maybe the cops are out there diffusing bombs right? They're diffusing bombs or stopping pedophiles,
Imagine.
and only videos we see is them beating up black guys, and we're like, look at these fucking assholes. And they're like, they're actually
why they're so
stopping.
angry.
Yeah, they're actually stopping real crimes. Like, could you imagine if we find that out? That would be fucking insane. We only
that
get
would be
videos of them doing terrible things, but but they're out there stopping bombs. They're fucking heroes.
Could you imagine the frustration of their coworkers? Like the other guy's fucking defusing bombs, and then they have fucking Steve beating up a black man. It's like, God damn it, Steve!
The guy's like, I just defused the bomb. I saved the neighborhood. Oh, no, don't go back outside. Why? They're calling you a racist, and they're why? Because Steve beat up another black guy. God damn it, Steve! Steve's like yelling. He's like, I'm colorblind.
Oh, by the way, I saw something on Facebook because during this whole ordeal with the cops that's been happening lately,
Yeah.
I've been sort of on the fence. I've been on the side of cops and on the side of people who have dealt with cops because,
Yeah.
you know. But then I saw something on Facebook that I was like, oof, that's hard to argue that one. This one guy writes, he goes, like a cop told him, you know, it's not all cops that do this, that are racist, that beat up people.
Yeah.
And then the guy replies to him, he goes, I'm sorry, officer, but you match the description.
Yeah, well, he didn't say that. That's a meme. No one actually said that.
Yeah, exactly.
That's just a meme.
That's what it is.
Yeah, but
And I was like-
it's not that good because what you just said is stupid. Because like, oof,
Why?
you match a description. Because then that would mean that any person that's done anything in some field, we can't do that anymore. So if a doctor misdiagnoses someone, ends up killing him, right? Then you're like, I can't trust you. You're a doctor. That guy misdiagnosed. You fit the description. That is a stupid fucking thing.
No, because that's the excuse that they use, right?
No, it's not an excuse because cops
Well,
fit the
excuse.
description. They're out there looking for people. When you're walking out, you're not looking for a police officer. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, you're right.
The reason why there's a description is because they're out looking for someone. So they stop. I've been stopped before because I fit a fucking description. Like, yo, we're looking for a fucking weirdo. Sir.
It's true. I've been stopped like about
Yeah,
2 or 3 times.
It's happened.
Yeah.
I'm not saying it's right or wrong. I'm saying but you first of all, no police. We've seen what's happening now. The reason why we need police is because we're fucking animals. That's the
We
truth.
are.
We're not
We
all
are.
fucking
I will
good
admit
people. There's criminals that we're fucking animals. So look at the places now where they defunded, where they reduced the cops. You know about this, George. You know about these statistics. It's fucking anarchy. Why?
Yeah.
Because we're fucking animals, bro. We need police. We're not there. We're not mentally at that level yet where we can police ourselves.
Yeah,
People are
that's
always
true, I
trying to take
agree.
advantage.
But we never will.
We never will. though.
And like prime example is just last night, bro. So I realized I have been because what I did was I calculated like how many, because I'm doing intermittent fasting and I'm doing keto, and I put down how many calories you're supposed to eat with
Okay.
your height and weight and everything. It said I'm supposed to maintain my weight. I'm supposed to eat about 3,500 calories a day,
It's a lot of calories.
which is yeah, it's a lot. It's a lot more than the average human male.
Yeah, to
And,
maintain your weight. Yeah, obviously, if
But
you want to
then-
maintain
but then-
that, like but you want to reduce that.
Yes, but then to lose 2 pounds a week, I should be eating 1,900 calories.
That's a big difference.
Okay. Now I've realized why I've also been so fucking angry is because for dinner, for my intermittent fasting, all I've been eating is fucking 4
Angry
egg
juice.
omelets with cheese.
What?
Why? Why do you only eat that?
Because it's
He's
high
a-
in protein and that, and some meats
And
here and
because
there.
he's lazy, he doesn't know how to cook.
It's the easiest thing to cook.
Yeah, it's true. Look at his face. Yeah, I know. And you won't get one past me. What do I look like, Cortez to you? You're not gonna get that past me.
And then I did the calorie calculation. It's only 500 calories. So I'm like, fuck, no wonder I've been pissed off lately a lot. Because that's all, bro, I've been running like at a fucking 3,000 calorie deficit.
Okay, yeah, we all feel bad for you. Bro, you've been running on a fucking 87,000 calorie surplus for your whole life, so shut the fuck up. I've been running on
No,
it.
but
You're
what I'm
like,
saying-
you're just
what
like
I'm
Trudeau.
Is, bros, we can't get rid of the police, bro. God forbid there's no food, bro. Me, I don't give a fuck, bro.
What are you
I'm going
getting
crazy.
at?
I'm turning into an animal. I'll admit this 100%, bro.
Look, there was no one watching
Still don't
this.
understand the analogy.
The
honestly.
analogy is
Your,
zero.
with your egg omelets and the police.
You just went full Joe Biden. You literally you went full Joe Biden. You're like this. Look, for the next election, the thing is, I don't really like a lot of pepper on my steak. So the way I like to cut it, it's like, George, where are you going with this, Joe? Like, where are you going with this? Like, what? Who in the what now? What are we talking about? What do I order? George
I'm
is-
trying to make the correlation of me, not eating much with no police and like God
Look.
forbid there's no food and shit.
We're dummies, a lot of us, yes, and that's why we need the cops. But also, it's just there's always opportunists, and there's people that don't have that are gonna want to have, and there's a million and one reasons on why we need, police force, some kind of protection, some kind of a place to go to when things get rough. Like right now, if you get raw, like let's say there's no cops, Poseidon, okay? And a street gang, just keeps breaking into the same house, raping people, stealing shit. What's your recourse? Especially if you're not allowed guns in this country. You have no recourse. Your hands are tied. Imagine you're an old man, a little old lady. What do you do if there's no cops to go to?
No.
Like, what do you do?
No.
You need that because there needs to be that barrier, right? It's just a matter of, obviously, everyone can agree that we've seen enough cop videos to realize that either the hiring is fucked up or there's an issue there. But that's an issue with the training, or it's not that we've evolved so much that we don't need cops. That's not true at all. We're dummies. We know that we're dummies. You know what I mean? We still need tutorials. We need all kinds of shit. All right.
Yeah, of course. I agree with this.
We need less of politicians.
Yes.
Taxes. These are things that we
Yes.
need less of. People have more take home money so they could build their life and do stuff instead of depending on the government. That's the kind of stuff we need to. Teaching people how to live their lives better, starting from high school. Teach them taxes, politics. Teach them the important shit, how to contribute to society. That's what we need.
Man, in Japan, they do it very right. They do it very well in school.
Yeah,
they
if
have,
shit doesn't go well, they kill themselves. The second
Wait,
they
what?
can't contribute, they kill themselves.
Well, yeah, because being able to contribute to their society is held as one of the highest regards.
Yeah,
in
no,
their
I'm not
society.
saying, I'm not making fun. I'm just saying that's what happens, bro. They don't fuck around. They're like,
Yeah,
what?
yeah.
I'm fired? I'm fired from life. And then they just jump.
Yeah, they're very serious. Yeah. But even in Japan in school, they're taught to clean up after themselves, how to live. They have mandatory cooking lessons. All this shit. I think it's very important, bro. Like most of the shit I do nowadays, I didn't even learn in high school, bro. Bro, in high school, I learned how to fight and swear.
And that was all from your gym teacher.
And make weapons. That's all I learned in high school.
George, you see this shit, bro. This is the future.
All part of the Quebec curriculum, right?
Yeah. But this is why the whole I don't like globalization of destroying cultures and we all want to have that one McDonald's. I want there to be different cultures so that people bring different ideas to the table, right? It's very important that we have different cultures and we learn. And all the stuff that's shit in a culture, you don't take. You leave the garbage out and you take the good stuff. So Japanese, that's another thing, dude. I wish that I had that same type of like just respect and honor like the Japanese have. Remember, the best example is I'm a big soccer fan. You know this, George. Remember in the World Cup when they were showing the Japanese fans? Thousands of Japanese.
Picking up the garbage.
When everyone was leaving the stadium, drunk, English fans, whatever it was, just leaving everything there, the Japanese were sticking around to clean up their section. They're like, we're not fucking animals. We enjoyed the game. We got to pick up this popcorn, pick up these cans. Like that level of respect, understanding that you're not alone, right? Like someone's gonna have to clean this. You made the mess. Why don't you take care of it yourself? I wish we could get to that. So when people talk about globalization and ironing out, destroying all cultures and everything should be the same, fuck you, dude. What are you talking about? Be like how we have it now, this throwaway culture. Why not take stuff from other cultures? Why not take stuff from like Japan, this kind of stuff, so that we could fucking be better in society? That's an awesome thing to copy. No, you don't think? Or
Absolutely, 100%.
we all want the throwaway culture? No, man, I like that shit. I like. We can learn so much. We can learn so much if you stop
100%.
having our heads up our fucking asses.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't know why, but it's always been like this kind of weird dream of mine where I've wanted to live in Japan for like 2 years.
Do it.
Yeah. Do it. Why don't you actually? You're gonna think I'm making fun of you, but why don't you actually try to become a fighter, a sumo fighter?
No, it's that's only for Japanese royalty.
What?
No.
I don't think that's
No,
accurate.
isn't it like only a certain sect of their population that's allowed to become sumo wrestlers?
Yeah, the
Because
fat
it's
guys.
like no, but even certain families, it's not just anyone.
Yeah, but you're coming from the outside. You come in as a sumo. We'll say that you're the Parc-Ex sumo champ.
Yeah, no, you're not allowed
not
as
really.
an outsider to become a sumo wrestler. I've heard.
Really?
I don't know how.
But
yeah,
what if
I
you're?
don't know.
What if you're just competing for the title? What if you? Okay, how about we do like a boxing match? We label you as the sumo king of Park Extension, and that you have an open invite to the Japanese sumo champ, and you start making these hype videos about how you're gonna crush him, and you're like, and then you end every video with, "I still haven't forgotten about Pearl Harbor." And he's just yeah. You remember those 2 bombs? You ready for a 3rd one? You know, and you just start, you just get really aggressive with him. You start, and then he's like, "I'll take this guy on." You should try something like that.
Because I think right now my favorite culture on the planet is the Japanese culture.
Okay. So you don't like Canadian culture? You don't like Greek culture?
No, obviously, but I'm saying like in terms of how they live, the cleanliness, and everything and all that combined.
I gotta admit, I do like the Japanese
or I would
too.
say one of my favorites. I would say Greek and Japanese right now, they're my favorite cultures. They've been my favorite cultures even throughout history.
Yeah, I don't know what it is about I like Japan. I like the Japanese. Yeah.
Like I see a lot of correlations between Greek culture and Japanese culture, and I like that.
That's a bit of an over exaggeration.
You think so?
Even George is laughing at that one. George's like, "What the fuck is he talking about?"
George, I'm trying to sound intellectual by using words like correlation.
Oh, is that the word that you thought was gonna fucking throw us off? How does he know these big words? Next, he's gonna say refrigerator. And by culture, he means hentai, is what they're saying in the chat. You just look at animated pornography. So, George, do you think? So, I'll reach out. I'll reach out to Polievre, and that's his name, right?
Call his office. You're obviously going to reach someone, and just say, I sent an email a couple of weeks ago or a month ago. I don't know when you sent it. Just extending an invitation for him to come on the podcast, discuss what's going on currently in Parliament regarding the We Charity, and I think he's probably going to do it.
Yeah, I've been seeing him do some stuff online. I just think that they didn't get the email, so he must get bombarded.
Oh, big time, big time. For sure, that's for sure. He's getting bombarded. So just call directly. Forget the email. Maybe it slipped, or maybe I don't know. Maybe it's in their junk mail. Who knows? Just call directly. That's the safest bet. Safest bet. You're obviously gonna reach someone for sure.
Do you want me to talk like I'm in Mad Men?
Like
howdy, gal.
Hey there, gal.
Is there a man in charge? Just, it's like, what the fuck? This, sir, this guy's calling from a fucking time machine. That'd be fucking amazing.
Just call his office, and they're probably gonna, if not, just have the email ready and say, look, I sent the email. I'm calling. I can send it to you right away, so you can get some information on the podcast, and that's it. Mention who you collaborate with and what you've done and stuff. I think you can get him. I think you can get him easily.
I think I get him. Do you think, George? You've been involved in politics for a good portion of your life, even though it was accidental. It wasn't something you wanted to get into. It's kind of something you fell into. Yeah, do you think? So all this stuff we're talking about now. So like, let's say the Cortezes of the world, who are I feel like they're high schooling it up. The Trumps, basically the popularity contest of winning. Do you think we're gonna reach a time where people are gonna get fed up and just be like, okay, this is over. This is over.
Yeah. It's an interesting question, because I definitely feel that we're going through this phase where populism is the thing, right? It's about who's going to say the more popular thing, who's going to say, and it's not necessarily attached to realistic and feasible policies, right? And you see that you have parties that are coming up now, like here in Quebec. We have the Quebec Solidaire.
They're the communists of Quebec.
Yeah, it's usually the grassroots leftist parties that kind of adopt these policies, because, and if you think of it, they're not really wrong. When you have nothing to lose, and when you know that chances are very slim that you actually win, just go out and say anything, right? What do you want? You want free dental care for from birth to death? You got it. Free education from daycare to PhD? You got it. So these and people kind of. They get attracted, to these kind of policies, because they're popular ideas, they're popular commitments that they make, But
they never question them.
Yeah, sorry.
They never question them. Like they never question.
Exactly. So it's this trendy thing now for people, instead of actually sitting down and reading electoral platforms and thinking, is this feasible economically?
Is this even possible?
And that's where we are. And I don't know. It's an interesting question if this is ever going to go away, or if we're just going to keep, growing and growing and growing. I don't know. Look, I don't know. And keep in mind one thing, Quebec Solidaire, when it came out, people found it ridiculous. They were like, "Oh, it's just a marginal party," until they got one person elected in Quebec, and then from there on, it kind of just trickled down, right? And now there are, I think, 7 or 8 people in the House. So it's definitely a growing movement. You see it from the numbers, you see it from the results. It just takes somebody to put some common sense into everybody to think that, look, man, it's impossible to give you everything that these people are promising, right? And I'm not saying their ideas are wrong. I mean, the ideas are good. Having free education from kindergarten to PhD, that's not a bad idea.
Yeah, but
problem is, can you actually make it? Can you deliver the goods?
That's what I'm saying. Like, if I want, I could just be like, here's an idea. We're all going to have magic powers, and you could just create stuff. It's like, fuck, that's great, bro. Magic, we don't need to build anything. This is amazing. Yeah, but it's not fucking real. It's not real. Why would you vote for that stupid party? So it always bugs me. People say, I want to vote for them because I want free everything. It's like, dude, yeah, it's great on paper. How do you give free everything? It's not magic. Someone has to work.
And look, and it's possible, right? It's just a matter of money. Like, it's possible.
Yeah,
Problem
but
is that
it's not possible. It's not possible because in order, for money, but hold on a second, George. Hold on a second. This was
if you want a free education, we'll give it to you, but we're gonna have to cut from somewhere else.
So look, part of this is the whole in your Green Deal thing, let's say, where if you don't want to contribute, you don't want to work, you still get a salary, right? Okay. So if everybody decides, you know what, fuck it, I'm just getting a salary, I don't want to work, right? Where is the money going to come from if there are no taxes to tax people, since nobody wants to work and contribute to pay the people that don't want to work? Where's that money going to come from? Yeah. You need to work in order to create, to manufacture, to pay taxes for. You can't just say, all right, we're quitting and there's magic money coming from where? There's no infrastructure. There's no industry. The argument for
these parties is to surtax the richer portion of the population. But what they don't understand is that they pay an enormous amount of tax. These people. Yeah. If you're looking at businessmen, you're getting paid whatever your salary is. You're getting raped on the taxes. And then if you have a business, you're also getting, this. I mean, you have a business, you know how it works.
I get
Imagine
rattled.
Imagine now, think of, the business that you have now. Think of it as, $1 million generating industry, right? Or a business. Like imagine your company is making like 10 million or 50 million a year, right? You're not a happy man.
No.
Like you're paying taxes through your nose. Like they're already contributing. So the idea, and I remember last election, their platform was, I think they had made commitments that were like, I don't know, close to $80 billion. I mean, just ridiculous, something like that. And, the way they were going to get the money obviously was to change the taxation brackets.
Pay more taxes.
Yeah.
So how are things free if you have to pay more? It's so stupid, but they don't, nobody goes that next level just to ask one question. They don't ask one. They're just like, oh, fuck, I want to accept this. I don't want to ask questions just in case they throw me off and then I feel like it's impossible. So I'm just going to close my eyes and agree.
Yeah.
Like it's magic.
But often what happens, because these ideas are so popular, governments and other parties usually tend to look at what they're talking about and they adopt a lot of their ideas. They just, modify them so they can make a little bit more sense. Like I remember the Liberals in 2018, they were running the campaign. They were offering free transport, public transport. But it wasn't for everyone. See, the difference was that Quebec Solidaire was campaigning on free transport for everybody. I think the Liberals probably stole that idea, and they're like, no, we're going to offer free transport for the seniors, right? So they took a portion, right? Yeah. I think it was students and seniors, something like that. So they took a portion of that because some of it probably does make sense sometimes, but it's just a matter of putting it in the right context. So yeah, just to answer your question, I don't know if these things are going to go away. It's a growing trend, and that's why you have people like AOC in the U.S. That's why you have a growing party like the Quebec Solidaire here in Quebec. You had them in government in Greece for what, 10 years? They look what they did.
Yeah.
So I don't know. It seems to be like a growing trend right now.
I always get called cynical whenever I bring up the same thing in Greece. When I bring up the fact that people are making promises, I'm like, yeah, but you realize there's no way they could fulfill those, right? Like there's no, I they make me out to be a bad guy because what do you mean? You don't think everyone should be taken care of and everyone should be making more money? I go, yeah, of course I do. But there's no plan to do it. They're just going out there and saying, you're all going to be rich, kids. I was like, yeah, I fucking love that plan. And then it never happens because it's absurd. That is an absurd fucking plan. It doesn't make any sense. Like Kanye with giving everyone $1 million. It sounds great when you hear, oh shit, I could get $1 million. But there's no feasible way of doing this.
Yeah, exactly. Look, this is the thing, man, and we've spoken about this on other episodes. I mean, how often have you actually sat down? How many times have you actually sat down to read an election platform of any party during an election campaign? It just
Never.
doesn't happen. Nobody does it. Nobody does it. So they're just looking at what's happening in the news, and they're taking little glimpses of the announcements that are made, and that's where people are. That's where parties are betting on. Let's just throw everything we have on populism, right? What's going to make the clip of the day, right? Free education, free transport, free dental care. That word "free" is huge when it
Yeah.
comes to an election
I
campaign.
love free.
Right? Yeah. Anyway, I gotta go, guys.
All right, get out of here. We're gonna talk about aliens.
Oh, that's so fun.
Poseidon, bring up that New York Times article. So, George, thank you. Check out George's podcast, the Backstage Podcast. Also, if you're a father or a mother, he has the Just Us Dads podcast, where him and two other dads get together and talk about all the fun associated with having children.
That's right.
So, G Funk, thank you very much.
Thank you, guys. See you next week.
Thank you, Mr. Poseidon. New York Times article, aliens. Bring it up. Let's see what the aliens are doing.
So the New York Times.
The New York Times.
Okay.
You got big there on me.
It goes, no longer in shadows, Pentagon's UFO. The unit will make some findings public.
Oh, shit.
For over a decade, the program, now tucked inside the office, the Office of Naval Intelligence,
I
the
bet it
ONI,
was tucked.
has discussed mysterious events in classified briefings. Despite Pentagon statements that it disbanded a once covert program to investigate unidentified flying objects, the effort remains underway. Renamed and tucked inside the Office of Naval Intelligence, where officials continue to study mystifying encounters between military pilots and unidentified aerial vehicles. Pentagon officials will not discuss the program, which is not classified but deals with classified matters. Yet it appeared last month in a Senate committee report outlining spending on the nation's intelligence agencies for
Okay,
the coming
I feel
year.
like you're reading at a very low level, and it's throwing me off. Like, you're just saying words, but you're not reading the sentences. You know what I mean? And
What do you mean?
or
No, I am.
naval, like read it, like it's a story. Like, read it so we understand.
I am. The report said the program, the Unidentified Aerial Phenomenon Task Force, was to standardize collection and reporting on sightings unexplained of aerial vehicles, and was to report at least some of its findings to the public every 6 months. Do you want me to continue?
No, I'm gonna bring up the article because I can't stand the way you're reading. Because you're just saying the word. You're not reading sentences. You're
I
saying
know
words.
I haven't, because I haven't read out loud in the longest of time. I've just realized, but I don't actually read like this in my head. It's very strange.
Because you're just saying like, explosive UFO report in New York Times.
Yeah,
man,
no,
like,
I realize this, but that's because I've never read out loud in the longest of times. I usually read in my head, but I don't read like this in my head.
All
Like
right,
I'm
let's see
reading
what it says
books
here.
right now.
So the HuffPo is supposed to recap it. The New York Times is reporting that the Pentagon's secretive UFO unit is going to make some of its findings public. You see, this what bothers me is some of its findings. So it's why not make it all fucking, you know what I mean? Why not make it all public? What are we hiding here? Anyways, let me scroll down here. And the newspaper said that it briefed the U.S. Defense Department officials of some highly unusual discoveries, including items retrieved from off-world vehicles not made on this earth. Poseidon, that is a bombshell. That is a bombshell fucking thing. So if we're talking about that the Pentagon is about to tell the U.S. defense team that, hey, look, man, Defense Department, we found some items here that weren't made on Earth. They were made, guaranteed, on another planet. Not China made them, not Russia made them, another planet. You know how crazy that is, Poseidon? Wow, okay. The Times, this is the New York Times, said that while the Pentagon has claimed that it disbanded its UFO office, that department has in reality simply changed names and moved X-Files shit. And a U.S. Senate committee report suggests it will be expected to make some information public every 6 months. Poseidon, this is a gold mine. This is going crazy now. Let's see here. The main goal isn't alien spaceships, but rather something much closer to home. To see if confounding sightings, including some by the military, are actually advanced technology from rival nations. So this is kind of going back to what we were saying, Poseidon, of they used to say, look, if there is a ship, technology-wise, it's a different country. What do you think? Like, do you think we're gonna find out it was not actually aliens? Because I don't. It seems like from what they're saying, I kind of not trust in the sense that they're not gonna lie to us, but I believe that the U.S. military is kind of aware of how far we've come technologically, what's possible, and I feel like if they're saying, "Look, man, this isn't from here," I feel like they're probably right.
Well, look, it used to be a couple of years ago. It used to be a couple of years ago that the military was, I think, 15 or 20 years ahead of what was available to the public.
Yeah.
Now it's something like 50, 60 years ahead technologically. So it could be just the military testing stuff out
So
and not actually aliens.
hold on a second. Here it says, because again, it talks about artifacts. So the Times report also hints at possible artifacts from UFO crashes, citing former Senate Majority Leader Harry Reid. So Harry Reid apparently said that there was artifacts taken in from the crashes, let's say. So they didn't find little Russian people, little Chinese people. They found off-world stuff. Fuck, let's see.
That's crazy.
So this is a quote. After looking into this, this is Harry Reid, I think. After looking into this, I came to the conclusion that there were reports, some were substantive, some not substantive, that were actually materials that the government and the private sector had in their possession. But I don't know. You see, this is what worries me. Astrophysicist Eric Davis, who has been a subcontractor and consultant for the Pentagon, told the newspaper he briefed the Defense Department in March about the off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. So you see, this is what fucking scares me. So Harry Reid is basically saying, look, we don't know. We know they have something. The private sector and the government has stuff in their possession. Materials from these ships. But some are not really like substantial. Some are like, let's say there's a piece like, well, this could be metal. This could be something else. Then this astrophysicist says that he briefed the Defense Department in March that these are off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. So who do you believe, basically? Because at least the Senate Majority Leader is kind of saying, look, it is or it isn't. We know they have something, but it's kind of up in the air. Whereas this guy is saying they're off-world. Like that's the words I'm reading the quote. He says off-world vehicles not made on this Earth. What do you...
Man, I don't know. I don't know. I just can't wait for the day where we could do interplanetary travel.
Oh, that's what you're thinking. Dude, we might... It depends on what these aliens want. We might not exist. We might be the slave race.
That's very true.
Included. We couldn't... So again, this doesn't prove anything because the astrophysicist examined some of the materials and concluded that we couldn't make it ourselves. But that doesn't mean anything. Like, I can't build an iPhone. It doesn't mean that humans can't make iPhones. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, imagine if you're in the forest, if you're one of these people in the Amazon forest and you give them a phone or a TV. Obviously, they can't build it. It's crazy to them. But this was built here. It's human. Okay. So Marco Rubio, he's a senator in Florida, also indicated that he was concerned that supposed UFOs could be advanced tech from foreign nations, which is the other side of the argument where we're saying that maybe Germany, China, Japan, Russia has surpassed us in certain aspects of their military, and that it's just their technology. So he said, we have things flying over our military bases and places where we're conducting military exercises, and we don't know what it is, and it isn't ours. So again, what I told George earlier this morning, that a lot of these things are seen flying over military establishments. Now, military installations, rather. Now, it's not to say that they're only there, because this might just mean that they're the ones tracking it. Because I can't track. If there's let's say there's a spaceship or a fucking jet over my building, I can't track it. So they could be everywhere. They could be going all kinds of places, but these people are tracking it. So it might seem like it's just a military basis because that's where we're getting the footage, but it might not just be military
This is crazy.
bases.
This is nuts.
Poseidon is so getting probed, they're saying. All right, so the article, this is a New York Times article talking about declassified UFO information, and I'm reading off the Huffington Post, the kind of crib notes, let's say, just to sum it all up, because I just want to know okay, so he added something. I would say that, frankly, that if it's something from outside this planet, that might actually be better than the fact that we've seen some technological leap on behalf of the Chinese or Russians or some other adversary that allows them to conduct this sort of activity. So yeah, it does make you feel safer if you think that your rivals can't make that
Does it really?
stuff. Yeah, it's just Russian drones. Eric is saying that's the thing. They're saying, can they have gone that far? Because this has been happening. These sightings have been happening since, like, at least. I mean, in history, it's been happening a lot, right? But like since the Alexander the Great times, they were describing the 2 flying discs. But I'm saying in modern history, this has been going on for a while. Like propulsion engines, did they really exist back then? Like in World War II? I don't know.
I have no clue, man. I have no clue. But man, another weird thing was this girl on Snapchat yesterday. She was posting on her story of this huge green light in the sky, and she's like, "What the fuck is that?" And there was nothing nearby that could.
Yeah, but that could be
make
anything. That could be because the way, especially lights, dude. Like you ever seen here in the summer when they used to have the lighthouse stuff? You could see it all the way to the border where you're going to Laval, but you're nowhere near downtown. And the whole sky is green.
A circular green light. Like,
that's
how
stupid.
can that?
So let me tell you. Let me ask you something, Poseidon. I'm not calling you an idiot, but you sound stupid. So aliens travel millions of fucking light years. They show up here, what? To put on a fucking rave party in the sky. Like, come on, man. Come on, Poseidon. That's why I'm saying you have to take this shit with a grain of salt, because a lot of it is also stupid. Do you know what I mean? Like everyone complaining that aliens go and shove stuff up their ass. You don't think there's a limit? Like how many assholes do aliens need to look into before they're like, yeah, these are all pretty much the same? Like it doesn't, an alien put stuff up my butt. I don't know. So
maybe they're just they have an anal fixation. I don't know.
So Tom DeLonge, who was on Blink-182, he was the singer, I think. He's a fucking weirdo, this guy. So he started a thing called To the Stars Academy, a company co-founded by former Blink-182 frontman Tom DeLonge, which has worked to reveal UFO information and helped expose the 2017 videos, celebrated the newest developments. But he's one of those guys that bothers me because he believes all of it. So even the fake sightings or whatever, he's going to try to justify them. Again, that's why I don't like it. It's like the party thing, like the Communist Party, Trump, Biden, just whatever he says I have to agree with. I hate that shit. Some stuff, like there's some stuff that I'm like, yeah, that's unexplained aerial phenomenon, guaranteed. And there's other stuff where it's like obvious. Like if there's a crop, like, oh, this guy made crop circles and, aliens came down here and all the crop circles are in the shape of giant penises. I'm like, I don't think aliens traveled here to draw penises in your fucking cornfields, bro. Like I'm just, they didn't come here to do graffiti, teenage aliens.
Yeah.
Let's
imagine
think this through.
It's just been teenage aliens going on their parents' fucking ship on a joyride.
Yeah.
Just fucking.
Okay, so let's see. Potentially technology that you have your own disposal. Okay, so he said that the objects in these sightings exhibit potentially technologies that you don't have at your own disposal, making them a national security risk. That's why we're sharing the information. Okay, so the way the government works, they have different departments. They don't always speak to each other. Like they have their own databases and they kind of keep secrets from each other. So the reason why now they're trying to share is because they feel like the latest sightings show that the technology is so far ahead of what we have available to us that it's a national security risk if we don't figure out, is it aliens, is it a foreign government, is because we can't fight back, basically. Fuck.
That's crazy.
That's crazy, bro. It's pretty cool, though, eh? Like, I like all this alien shit.
It is cool.
But then I have questions, too. Like, as much as I'm interested and I find it interesting, what's so cool about us? Like, how many years do you have to just observe us? Like, for what? Do you know what I mean? Like, you think about what's the point if you're not making contact? Or do you see how stupid we are and you're like, people are calling senators fucking bitches on the steps and, like, all this shit's happening. Like, these guys are fucking animals. Let's...
Or it could also be the New World Order thing that they've been saying.
I think there's a high...
against one common enemy.
Yeah, I think there's a high probability that we're being... This is a psyop. We're all being conditioned to think that there's an external threat to bring us closer to a one world government. Because then you're like, oh, well, fuck. But on one hand, you're like, well, is it bad if you eliminate racism? Because people... No, it's not bad. But how you do it, right? So if you eliminate racism just because people are scared of an alien race and you give up all borders and all that, I don't know how helpful that is. And I don't even know that people will become less racist if there's aliens. I think they're just going to don't like aliens and whatever race they have a problem with. I think they're just going to add.
It's going to add another fucking issue to the clusterfuck already.
Yeah, plus, since these aliens have been visiting, quote unquote, for years, right? Hundreds of years or whatever, then if they really wanted, because I'm seeing in the chat like terraforming Earth or take over Earth, wouldn't they have taken it over before we had nuclear weapons? Before we had lasers and drones? Wouldn't they take it over when it's easier, like when we have horses? You know what I mean? Like, aren't we harder to fight now with guns and shit?
Yeah, I don't know. There's too many questions on this subject. Too many, because the more you think about it, the more questions you have like that.
Yeah.
Logical questions. You know what I mean?
Well, yeah, I'm just trying to see, like, logically, because it's fun to talk about, but it just logically doesn't make a lot of sense.
But what if they see it? But then there's the other argument that they see us kind of like an ant colony.
Yeah.
You know how we'll fuck with ant colonies and make ant colonies, and you know, or like make aquariums and shit.
Okay, so the other argument is that if you go by like Zecharia Sitchin and all the like ancient alien theories and all that, you like Sumerian text, the way they were translated, the other argument is that these are the people who made humans, that took the monkey that was here, you know, the whole missing link, that ape, put it with their DNA, made humans. So, and they're just watching their creation, kind of like what you said. Like, this is an anthill, and it was a manufactured anthill. So, I mean, it's not any crazier than any of the other arguments at all. It's not any. In fact, it actually makes more sense than the aliens trying to take over the place, because they would have taken over a long time ago when we didn't have weapons. Why wait?
They might have already, they might have even already taken over. We just don't even fucking know.
Yeah, there's shit like that. Yeah, exactly.
You know?
So, I don't know. There's
like, what the fuck do I know? I live in Parc-Ex, bro. You know?
So Gambit says there's billions/trillions of Earth-like planets. Why Earth? Well, if Gambit, so far as we know, we haven't found intelligent life out there. All right, and I mean, if you look at Poseidon, intelligent life is even questionable on Earth. So,
well, it's not just the why Earth. It's maybe Earth is one of many. You know how we have so many zoos. Like think
no, but that's what I'm saying. I'm saying because he says, well, why would they come to Earth? I mean, as far as we know, as far as we've explored, we're the only ones, right? And I understand that for people, it is fun to believe that there's something else out there, because it's scary when you think of how big the universe is, and for us to just be here alone, it's kind of sad. Like, it's very lonely.
It is kind of sad, isn't it?
Yeah, it's very lonely. So I can see why you would want to jump to that kind of mythical thing, but it's just, like I said, I have too many questions. Like, why would they? Are they trying to just guide us to a specific future? Because, like I said, when they go over those military bases and they shut off like the nuclear missiles and all that stuff, it's like they're trying to tell us something. That's how they're interpreting it. But it could also be a foreign agent. It could be Chinese or Russian military that's shutting off our shit, just trying to prove.
I think that's the most realistic thing. It's another country fucking with us.
Yeah, but then again, this shit's been happening. I mean, there's Alexander the Great sightings of two discs
there
in
you
the
go.
air.
That's the issue.
Yeah. So this has been going on for very long. Yeah. Unless every person, throughout history, everyone's been full of shit. Just they're like, yo, we're gonna fucking run this gag to the ground. This bit, we're gonna commit to it. And every couple of 100 years, we're gonna draw photos of UFOs. You know, a lot of it is just, I don't know, man. It's fucking weird. Because if we do find out that we're the aquarium, man, a lot of people are gonna kill themselves.
That's true.
If you find out that life is legit meaningless, this is all a game, and you're just created so people can observe. We're a reality show.
Feel better.
Really?
It's gonna make some people feel better, I think.
How?
Like, they're not gonna take it as seriously anymore. It's gonna be a little more.
Yeah, but you think if you think telling the planet that, look, you know, all the dreams you had, you know, all the meaning that you put into life, what you believed in, a religion or whatever. Yeah, none of that's just real, bro. You're literally meaningless.
That's kind of fucked.
You're expendable. You're nothing to the universe. Yeah, that's not gonna go over well, Poseidon.
Well, we are nothing to the universe.
No, but we think
we're tiny. We're so tiny, bro.
We're tiny in the size of the universe, but if you look at the scope of ideas and what we've been able to create out of our mind, right? Because everything starts from in here.
That's true.
So think about these crazy ideas that we've come up with that then we built and we create. That's amazing. That's magical.
That is amazing.
So taking something from imagination, that's magic.
But I have another theory also. I just came up with it. What if, you know how we're trying to do the NWO, the New World Order, right? What if
they're doing the new
Milky
galactical order?
Yeah, the NGO. There's a supreme alien race in the Milky Way galaxy.
Okay.
Right, and they're trying to make this new galactic order to bring everything, the one galaxy combined under one galaxy, the Milky Way, and they haven't revealed yet because we're not intelligent enough, and this is all just so we can level up to become part of this new galactic order.
Okay, so again, I'm going to stop you right there. Then why haven't they made contact?
Because we would freak out.
Okay, so then what's the point of what you just said? When are we not going to freak out?
But I don't know. I'm not a scientist.
There you go. It doesn't make any fucking sense. It doesn't make any sense. Because first of all, they would have made contact a long time ago so that we're more ready for it now, right? They would have made contact before TVs, before internet. So it just becomes a thing. You know, like Japan's like, did you hear?
Yeah.
People from another thing landed, and then, you know, they show up there and they talk to them. And then, you know, it wouldn't just be I don't know, they waited for cell phone cameras. It doesn't make any sense, bro. Maybe I'm looking at it too logically and I'm letting the mystery escape me, but
you want to laugh. I'm pretty sure it's been in front of us this whole time. It's one of those issues where the solution is like the answer to the question has been in front of you this whole time.
Yeah.
We're just too stupid to notice it's right under our nose.
What do you mean? Like
something.
Well, the obvious thing is that it's a hoax. The obvious thing could be that the government is using this as an excuse to trick us.
But then again, your question comes back into play. So all these thousands of years, all these humans have been playing hoaxes just to fuck with future humans.
Maybe not just to fuck with us, maybe just misunderstanding. Do you know what I mean? And then we're interpreting things the way we want to now. So, because humans have a problem where we interpret things based on our current surroundings, right? So when we try to explain stuff now that was written 200 years ago, we like to have our current references in point in our head, right? When we're thinking them. So when they talk about came from out of this world, we're like, yeah, extraterrestrials, aliens. But maybe all they meant there was that it's unworld, like a godly, you know, like, oh, an angel came down. So now we're like, angel came from the sky, alien came. Do you know what I mean? We're interpreting it with our context. You know, we're taking our daily context and we can't escape that. It's hard to split it because that's what you live with every day. So all of our contextual basis is around what we have with us, right? Like you don't have a farm, a horse as your contextual basis because your daily routine doesn't include that stuff.
No.
Do you know what I mean? So any reference I make to you, you're gonna put it into context that you can understand, and it's gonna all be modernized. Do you see what I mean?
Yeah.
Like back then they didn't have. Okay, so I'll give you an example. A good example is who's the first person to write in the first person in history that we have? What's his name?
I read this somewhere. I forgot though.
What's his fucking name? The biblical guy. Does anyone in the chat know what the fuck's his name? The first person to you remember Poseidon?
No, like he goes. Hold on, let me Google it real quick.
You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah, I know. Hold on.
What the fuck was his name? I think he was in the Bible too. Because I use this as an example to think about how I can't eliminate like the current context from my mind. So aliens were waiting for us to stop fucking around. But no, it doesn't make sense because we didn't always have this kind of technology. Do you know what I mean? They could have come to us when we had fucking horses.
Yeah.
First person history. Ancient. You see, that's the other thing. Every time I type this kind of shit, everyone is saying the same thing. They're all going to aliens. They're like, the first alien abduction in history?
All I'm getting is
the Book of Enoch.
Guidelines on.
Oh, yeah, it was Enoch, yeah. Thank you. So basically, when he talks about how he was warned that the angels were going to come and get him, and then they had to set up a perimeter outside of his house for the chariot of fire to land, or else stuff around it was going to get burnt. It sounds like a ship, okay? It sounds like, in our context, you think a ship was landing. That's why they had to fence out an area. Because why would divinity need to fence out an area? They're accidentally going to burn something.
Yeah, they could just appear, right? They're a divinity.
Yeah. So then, anyways, then he describes how the earth looked like from on top, flying over it, okay? And he talks about inside the ship that we're calling the ship. Basically, it was lined up. The hallway was stars. stars were lighting it up, right? So to us, modern context, we think lights. Lights were lighting up. And then then he entered the room where the Most High was, the chief, the Most High, and he was anointed in their clothes. So it's like they put on a uniform on him. So anyway, so if you take it in our modern context, it doesn't sound divine. It sounds like aliens. Something came, right? Took him down, taught him stuff, brought him in the ship. So if you use our modern context, it's 100%. It seems like that. But think about people back then when they didn't have any idea of space travel, ships, uniforms, all that stuff, right? They're describing, to the best of their ability, and then they believe what they want to believe. But for us, you can't get rid of it. Now we all think it's aliens, but it probably isn't. It's probably just our context that's fucking with us, our current context that makes us. I can't think of anything else but that. Okay, so a very cool concept about aliens is that humans from the future traveling back in time, evolved humans. Yeah, I've heard about that shit too. I've heard that it's time travel. It's humans from the future. But this is all, again, it's silly. But it's not, I mean, it's great sci-fi.
Or what if, even crazier, let's bring it up a notch. What if, you know how there was like thousands of years ago, there was like the Dark Ages, and like we kind of went through like a destruction phase, they were saying. And some of the stuff, the guy that was on Joe Rogan there.
Bob Lazar.
Yeah, it was archaeological digs.
Okay, so Bob Lazar said the one thing that I said would make a great fucking movie, and I want to write the script to it. It would be amazing. When he said, like, Joe Rogan asked him, so where'd you get these stuff, this technology, this propulsion engine, all the stuff that you can't, we can't make now, okay? So a crash or whatever, and the craziest answer is like, no, I was told it was part of an archaeological dig. So this advanced technology was found, buried thousands of years ago. That is crazy. That is the beginning of an amazing movie.
Well, yeah, because also it raises the question, what if at some point we were so technologically advanced, we were able to make these things,
exactly,
and then some humans managed to escape the planet because it went through like a destruction phase.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
That's what I'm saying. There's a lot of cool stuff you can work with here, but the trick is you don't want to cloud your mind and get so excited over the potential story and then buy into it 100% and be like, this is reality.
Yeah.
That's the thing. It's very tricky. And then, with the New York Times coming out with this and the government saying, yeah, there are aliens and there's all this technology that we don't know about, we don't know how it works, that just brings people further into it. They're like, oh, fuck, the government said it. Then clearly there's aliens.
Yeah. Because what if this is a reteaching also, and that's why they say to get rid of nuclear weapons, because that's what happened.
That's how we destroyed ourselves the first time.
Exactly, in the first place. And they know, you know how this thing, this whole, if you don't know history, you're doomed to repeat it?
Yeah, that's real, yeah.
So we don't know, So what if we're just repeating history and these aren't aliens? It's just us from thousands of years ago that survived off planet. They found a way to, and they're reteaching like so many ideas. Like it's crazy, like thinking about it.
All this is amazing to talk about. But again, I don't want people to just jump on board and be like, holy fuck, aliens. Like, because the government's lied to us so many times. You think they wouldn't lie about aliens? They'd lie about aliens. I'd make up, if my economy was tanking, like think about it, right? They're talking about the US dollar getting fucked over now, and the world is trying to move to a gold standard again, and all kinds of shit like that. Because right now most currencies are all backed by the US dollar, right? That's what they have. Okay. So they have reserve currency in the US, and everyone's getting mad and shit. So this might be another way of maintaining power, Yeah.
Look,
we're in contact with the alien.
Like we said, a psyop.
It could be a psyop. I don't know. It is interesting that for the first time, credible, right, mainstream media, but credible reports are coming out, like the government speaking about it. Back in the day when you'd mention the same stories, the same sightings, even if government officials would say it, they would say that they're crazy, they're liars, they're opportunists. And then now they're corroborating a lot of the information that had come out from people that they were called liars, and they're saying, no, that was actually true. So then you're like, okay, so which is it? So are you all lying together? Or did you ruin people's lives by calling them crazy and liars when you knew that the truth was that they were being honest? Like, remember the Canadian defense minister who had come out years ago, the old guy, talking about how, so people called him crazy. Even though he was the Canadian defense minister, they called him crazy when he said, no, there's different races of aliens and we're talking to them, the U.S. government and us, but most of the U.S. government has like a rapport, and they're not all good races. Some are bad races of aliens, and all this shit, right?
That.
You remember that shit? So when you look at those videos, people will be like, "Oh, this guy's a fucking asshole. He's an opportunist. He's making stuff up. He's just an old liar," stuff like that. And then now, when it's in the New York Times and the Pentagon is coming out with this shit, no one's apologizing to these people that they called assholes and liars. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't know. It's just it is strange though. I admit it's fucking cool and I love this shit. Like, but I don't know. I'm not gonna right away jump on this stuff until I have more information because it could definitely be
obviously.
It could definitely be technology from another country, and it could also just be them lying just to fuck with us.
Yeah.
You know, don't focus on this. Focus on the aliens.
Yeah.
What do you mean the economy's tanking? Aliens. So
well, bro, there was all this technology that they were able to make with fucking you like that technology with you can hear what they were saying.
Yeah, but that's not
head.
that's not that special. That's not
no
UFO level shit.
No, I know, but imagine like they could do that, right? Imagine what else they could do to put on a show. I'm saying to make you believe something that isn't there.
Well, no, I mean they wouldn't even have to do that with the special effects we have now. You don't need to go that far. You just show a fake video that's really well made, and then that it comes out from the government, so that nobody thinks it's fake. So that's not an issue. So the best cover story is to have people/enemies waste their time and energy with theoretical alien crafts, meanwhile concealing that you created the aircrafts. Yeah, exactly. So if there's a way for them, because they release these stuff, let's say to Russia, but it doesn't write "made in the USA," right? It says like it has like runes on it, so it looks like aliens. So then you have the Russians panicking, trying to focus on aliens when it was an American. You get it? That's how you fuck with people. You distract people. So there's a lot of that. It is interesting that people are talking about this today, and New York Times and Huffington Post and the Pentagon is coming out with this. It's interesting that they're actually talking about aliens, but I don't know how real any of this shit is. Maybe the We Foundation spent all that money. Yeah, they basically spent $1 billion creating some fucking spaceships.
That's what it was, bro, this whole time.
So for those of you who don't know, 2 Drink Minimum is happening live at the Bordel Comedy Club every week for the next couple of weeks. So we're doing Mondays, and then we're going to switch to Sundays eventually. But this Monday, we will be back at the Bordel Comedy Club, 7:30 p.m. It will be live on YouTube, and then off the internet up until it comes back on Thursday. If you want to catch the episodes first, they're going to be on Compound Media for the next couple of weeks until we figure out what's going to happen there. And so Wednesday mornings it's on Compound, Thursdays it's everywhere. Patreon.com/Pantelis if you want to become a patron, get some exclusive shows, get stuff first, get all the live events, be part of the nation. Poseidon, did you like movie night this week?
Yes, I liked it a lot.
The Patreon movie nights have gone pretty fun. We're watching, fun movies. We're just shooting shit. People are enjoying me and Poseidon's commentary on classic films that Poseidon's never seen, really, which is pretty fucking amazing that there's these important films that Poseidon's never watched. We might watch a UFO movie, Poseidon, just to get you in the mood.
Shit.
Maybe a documentary. Oh, that'll be fun with you in a documentary. But so having said that, Poseidon, they're going to find you where? The Poseidon69 on Instagram and on Twitter?
Instagram.
Instagram, Twitter. The Poseidon69.
Yes.
What were you going to say?
And tomorrow, I have another live stream at 4 p.m. on patreon.com/Pantelis.
Patreon.com/Pantelis. In Bed with Poseidon goes live tomorrow at 4 p.m. What am I doing? Pantelis live on Sunday. So we got Pantelis live on Sunday. The 2 Drink Minimum will be live on Monday from the Bordel Comedy Club. And Preach is coming on Monday, so it's going to be fun. We're going to have a guest finally. Because it's we've been avoiding people for so long, ever since Akash, because he was the last one to come before the whole pandemic thing. So it's going to be a good fucking episode. Antifa versus Aliens. That would be a fun movie. They're liking it. Olga says the movie night was so much fun. Yeah, the movie nights are getting good. Now we fixed the audio, so it's all looking pretty good. So check that out. Head over to patreon.com/Pantelis if you want to win t-shirts. Take a look at all the details on who wins, how they win, all that stuff. Joining the nation. We will be back. Podcasts in general have slowed down a bit because I'm refusing to bring guests during this time. The time I mean building of the new studio. So they're saying around August 1st should be ready. So what do we have? Another 2 weeks basically of this, Poseidon? Another 2 weeks, and then if everything goes well, we'll be in a brand new studio. We're going to have new episodes of the Pantelis podcast, This Just Thing, the French cast, and some new stuff that we're working on behind the scenes. So all that stuff is coming. With the new studio comes new content. So very excited. Thank you guys for checking this out. And if tickets do go on sale, it's either today or tomorrow. I'm not in charge of that, so people keep asking, but I'm not. So the second they go on sale, go ahead and purchase them if you want to come. They're sold by tables because you can't just come one guy. You know how it is because they're all separated. So if you have basically you buy a table and then you share with your friends. So you tell them to split the cost with you. Poseidon, anything we forgot?
I think that's it. I think we said everything.
All right. Well, take care of yourselves, guys. Thank you all for fucking listening.
Ciao, ciao.